And part has a triple chest, or when only the right rampart has a triple chest. For Crack Smoker, you go to the following spots and place blocks just as I do. The first two blocks are against Hoglins, and the others are basically just piglin pathfinding and you actually getting to the ramparts. You break this block, break a gold block here, break this block, go gold, make a bridge, and... or you jump, you just walk straight up. Sook, you just have to place the blocks as I do. You break one gold block here, throw one gold to the side, and place the blocks as I do. These blocks are just for piglin pathfinding and against Hoglins. Then you break these two blocks, jump over here, this block looks above you, it off, and crest. Break your gold blocks, gets a blocks. When both ramparts have a single chest, this part of the routes gets a bit different. You place and break a block here, break your gold block again, and get the pigs in the hole.
Minecraft speedrunning can look very confusing. This guy's got his F3 splattered across the whole screen and his FOV's at 30. Like, what is he doing? In this tutorial, I'll try to explain all of it from the ground up. Broadly speaking, we want to get to the nether as fast as possible. Normally, you'd get a diamond pickaxe to make the portal, but you can actually do it way faster with the 7 sexy iron. That's all you need. I didn't think I'd ever say that in a video.
If the hero passes, they gain new tools and skills where eventually in the final fight, they're prepared to win. I'm going to break down the process of going from A to B level by level like a video game, where A is where you are right now, and B is where you need to get. Okay, now let's break down what you need to win. The most obvious are ender pearls and blaze rods, which are both needed to get into the end. But then you need a way to kill the dragon, so you'll need some beds to deal damage quickly, but then making a nether portal. With that in mind, I'm looking for
Yo everyone, what's going on? Curryway here, and today I'm super excited because I think sometimes people see, not only me, which I've personally, if you've been following the Twitch recently, I've been dying way too much recently, and I know this. Iconics went just above and beyond.
Make sure your render distance and entity distance are both high, and if you're using an entity culling mod, turn it off. Enter the nether and wait at least 10 to 20 seconds seconds for your chunks to load in. Make sure your render distance and entity distance are both high, and if you're using an entity culling mod, turn it off. Enter the nether and wait at least 10 to make sure your render distance and entity distance are both high, and if you're using an entity culling mod, turn it off. Enter the nether and wait at least 10 to 20 seconds for your chunks to load in. Lower your FOV to 30. Press F3 and read E. Look around in a horizontal circle. Look for big numbers. It should be at least 35 but as high as 70. If there's multiple, go to the largest or the easiest to get to. Run towards the spike, but try and stay at high terrain. If you lose your direction, you can scan again in the same direction. But if you're close to the bastion, it won't spike, so you can scan with 50 FOV if you're closer instead. Sometimes a spike will actually just be a bunch of mobs or striders. You can try and avoid this, but it will happen. The spike occurs on the edge of your screen, not the middle, so try and account for this when running there. To confirm, it occurs on the edge of your screen, not the middle, so try and account for this when running there. To confirm if there's a bastion or not, you can add together your M and your C. If your second E is about the same, then you have no bastion. If and your C. If your second E is about the same, then you have no bastion. If your second E is larger by 30 or more, then we have a bastion. In 1.21, second E is larger by 30 or more, then we have a bastion. In 1.21.9 plus at the moment, entities are bugged on F3. This will likely be fixed soon, but you can entity pie chart brutes instead in the meantime.
Stables Bastion is widely known as the most complicated bastion to learn to route due to the random generation of the ramparts. Most people are scared to even start learning it due to the insane number of variations it can have. In this video, I'll show you how to identify the most important parts of the bastion and choose the optimal route so that it never confuses you again. In order to route stables, you first have to know how to identify that you're in a stables bastion. This is very easy in relation to things like bridge or treasure, but it does look very similar to housing, especially when you can't see the full thing. The most notable feature of stables are the hoglins, which do not spawn in housing. The hoglins don't always spawn, however, so sometimes you need other clues. The stables portion of the bastion has very flush and flat outer walls, while housing is asymmetrical and feels very random. Stables has a clear split down the middle of it, whereas housing has a nether wart and a chest in the center. One of the more notable features of stables are the chest locations. At the very bottom of the center section, there will always be a single chest in stables. This leads to this very specific staircase up the middle, which is another important feature. The top three ramparts generate one of three different types randomly. They can be either a single, which is the shortest and contains only one chest in the back here. They can be a lantern, which is medium height and contains two chests, one single up top and one down below next to the lantern. And lastly, it can be a triple rampart with one single and one double chest. This is the tallest of the three rampart types. You can tell it's a triple from the top of stables by looking at this basalt formation on the stairs leading up to it. Using this indicator alone, though, can be confused with housing formation on the stairs leading up to it. Using this indicator alone, though, can be confused with housing because housing always generates a triple in the right rampart. If you happen to find yourself in the top part of the bastion first, there's a rule with the chests. Housing will always have a 3-block space between the single and the double chests of the triple. There's a rule with the chests. Housing will always have a 3-block space between the single and the double chests of the triple. Stables only has a 2-block gap. There are many other ways to tell that you're in a stables bastion, but these are the most notable features to look for. The most important rampart generation to look for is the triple. This is because they're guaranteed to spawn 4 golden blocks under the triple chest, which also has valuable loot in it. These can be used for the routes that I'll discuss later on. The big takeaway here is knowing how to identify which type each rampart is so that you can determine the optimal. The big takeaway here is knowing how to identify which type each rampart is so that you can determine the optimal route to take. Now that we've discussed the top rampart generation, it's important to note how the bottom generates. The center is always a staircase and either side can have either a good or a bad gap, which is just a name coin for if the area has spawned gold blocks. If you're playing ranked mode, you're guaranteed at least one good gap with the possibility of two. A bad gap contains a single chest with a chance for obsidian in it, so it can still be important to know how to access it. There are 3 key areas to help identify which side is the good gap. Starting from the chest at the bottom of the stairs, you can mine 1 block here to check the left rampart. If it's blackstone behind it, it means it's good gap. If it's just air or netherrack, it means you have a bad gap there. On the way up the it means it's good gap. If it's just air or netherrack, it means you have a bad gap there. On the way up the stairs, you can check the right rampart by looking at this block. If it's cracked, it means there's a bad gap, and if it isn't, it means you have a good gap. Alternatively, you can mine this corner block. If there's air behind it, it's good gap. If it's blackstone, bad gap. At the top of the stairs, you can check for left rampart by mining this block. Once again, if there's air behind it, it's good gap. If there's blackstone behind it, it's bad gap. If you're on top of the stables, you can look at these blocks. If the hole is only 1 tall, you have a good gap below you. If it's 2 tall, you have a bad gap in the section below. Lastly, you can check this hole, which only spawns in triple chest ramparts, to see whether you have a good or bad gap below. A hole that leads to a staircase indicates the bad gap, and if it's sealed off, it's a good gap. This hole is very commonly passed for triple the gap routes, and you can use it to check either left or right ramparts before even starting the route. An important part of the route is knowing how to loot the triple chests and find the gold. A dangerous way is to check the chests and then throw out anything golden by pressing Q quickly. This will buy you enough time to check both chests. If you're unlucky, however, there's nothing golden in it and you'll just die. Instead, come down this staircase. You want to go for the hole that's up top, not down below. If you go down this hole, you just find this little lantern room and pillar up 2 blocks. Tucking into the corner should prevent the pigs from getting you, but sometimes they'll get 1 hit off. Just dig up until you find the triple chest and you can loot it now safely. If you mine this block, you can aim at the 2 bottom pixels of this block and then jump and spam right click. This will allow you to access the single chest. Now to locate the gold, you just dig back down. If you want a quicker funnel down, you can mine this block, and it'll allow the piglins to come down when you start mining the gold. The 4 gold blocks are down this very distinctive hallway. You can also mine this block instead of the one before to let piglins down when you start mining. Place that block, and then you have 4 gold blocks here that you can mine. You don't have to access it from this hallway. You can also go down this way, but it just takes longer. This is the route you'd take if you started on top of the stables, however, as opposed to in the ramparts. Simply walk over this way, and you'll see it starts to kind of snake around to the left to bring you back to where that other hole exits. So this is the lantern room where you start to pillar up and get the triple chest loot. When you're done looting the chests, once again, you just come down here and go to this distinct hallway with that little jut out, and the 4 gold blocks are right here. The first route I'll show you is called double triple, which should always be prioritized when you can. If you have 2 triple chests next to each other, you should start with this route because it gets a lot of pigs trading very quickly. Come down between the 2 triple bastions. You'll see this hole right here made of basalt, and you're just looking for the lowest point. Then mine 3 to the left, and 1 to the right. If it's a left and middle triple, you don't have to do anything else. However, if it's a right and middle double triple and you come down to dig the holes, you'll need to look out for this hole underneath the left side. Pigs can get stuck in here, so you just pillar up 2 blocks to build them a little staircase. Now continue the route the same way. You can mine this gold out, dig down 2 for a piglin trading hole, start mining the gold, and then dig 1 down, place the block above you so none of the pigs can get into your hole. Now you can convert the gold to ingots, throw it in the trading hole to get the pigs trading. Now this is where it gets a little difficult. You can mine that other block to the left, but careful for late pigs, which sometimes show up really late. If these were sword piglins, you can take a lot of damage, so you gotta be careful and just hang out in your hole for a little bit. Run through the hallway you previously dug and then come up to the right. Cap this off so no late pigs can get you. Sometimes you'll have a straggler that can still sneak up on you. If you look under the polished blackstone, it's the same 4 gold. We're just accessing it from a different point. If you have any pigs waiting for you at the dirt blocks that were late, you can throw them to distraction gold. Otherwise, just run over here, throw the rest of your gold in the hole, and wait for trades. At this point, you can check the triple chest for any obby or anything else you might need, or you can also just scan for fortress, organize your inventory, do any crafting, anything you might need to do in this time. When you're done, just go back down to the hole, grab your trades, and you can leave pretty quickly. That route's very easy to remember, but it's also situational. I'm gonna show you the only 5 triple to gap routes you actually need. Middle triple to gap is one of the more simple ones. Start at the 4 gold under the triple chest. You throw a distraction gold, wait for them to get distracted, and then come over here and mine down 2 blocks. Be ready to throw a gold so it distracts these piglins here. You can see how much damage I take just because I didn't throw a preemptive gold. You can use these blocks to hold the pigs above you like a little checkpoint. Use this time to mine the wall to check for good gap. In the next route, I'll show you what to do if it's bad. When it's a left triple middle lantern, you start by getting the 4 gold blocks under the triple as always. You throw 1 gold, wait for the pigs to get distracted, then run out here up to the top. Pay attention to when I throw gold along this route. This is very common areas for the pigs to be sitting. Throw a gold down here, mine down, and break the chest. This aggroes all pigs in nearby areas. You'll remember from earlier you can mine that block to check for gap. I see there it's a bad gap, so I just throw a gold and walk down the stairs. I'm guaranteed a good gap here in ranked mode. You can build this little wall to make a checkpoint, and you can see how many pigs are funneling in at this point. When you mine through here to good gap, it's common for pigs to be on the other side, which you can see here, so just throw a gold to distract them. Now mine this last block and it'll allow them all up. You can punch a pig to re-aggro all of them if you're worried about it, and then just start your good gap route. If you do this method from the top to the bottom of the stairs, you don't ever actually even need to know which one's the good gap before starting your route. Every time you basically just do the same thing where you go from triple to the middle rampart and then down the stairs. Now the same route but a right side triple middle lantern. Same start, mine the gold under the triple, throw a distraction block and then come out here. Instead this time you're going to dig down these 2 blocks, place one so you don't take fall damage. Sometimes you need to throw distraction there. Make your way into this far corner of the room and get in the hole. Cap it off so none of the pigs can hit you and then mine through 3 to get to this other side. Throw a distraction for any of the pigs waiting there for you and then mine those 2 blocks out so you can run through here. You can wait for the pigs a little bit in case they de-aggro, or just come over here and mine the chest and make your way down to the gaps once again. This point can get a little hectic, especially with all these pigs here, so you can actually just throw a bunch of gold to avoid taking these hits like I do. If left side isn't good gap, it's a little easier because you can just trail all the pigs down to right side like I showed before. Next is left triple middle single. Same as always, you mine the 4 gold blocks, then come out here and distract the piggies. On this route, you actually want to go intentionally a little slower. There's many ways to do this, but I find this one works the best for me. You walk around on the roof a little bit and just snake around. As you can see, all the late piggies are coming up now. Place and mine a gold block just to re-aggro everyone in the area, and then throw some gold down there for the piggies that are underneath. You can mine this chest, wait for them once again, and start throwing some distraction gold. You should have a huge train behind you, and now you can just start with your gaps again. You can use these 2 blocks to cap it off and give yourself a little checkpoint. This just saves you some treasure is the easiest
It can happen that you don't have all the obsidian you need. In that case, you can just go up to the triple chest, or loot chests in the lower parts. If the terrain on the backside of... But what if you arrive at your housing and you see this? Arrive at your housing and you see this. This is called lava housing. This is called lava housing and it's pretty bad for... So what if you arrive at your housing and you see this? This is called lava housing and it's pretty bad for obvious reasons, but there is still a way around this. For manhunt, you just start off as usual. Once you're at this spot, you place a block here, you place blocks as I do, you break these blocks and distract piglins if there are any. Then you go up, loot the chests, go through the wall, and place blocks as I do. You break this block and then you go back here, break this block, throw any gold you have into the hole, and then just mine and throw gold as I do here. You break these chests, you go through the wall and place. Then you go up, as I do. Once you're at this spot, you place a block here. You place blocks as I do. You break these blocks and distract piglins. If place a block here, you place blocks as I do. You break these blocks and distract piglins if there are any. Then you go up, loot the chests, go through the wall, and place blocks aside you. Loot the chests, go through the wall, and place blocks aside you. You break this block and then you go back here. As I do. You break this block and then you go back here, break this block, throw any gold you have into the hole. And then just mine and throw gold as I do here. You can get the back. Pick up gold blocks like this. Then you just pyrate, collect your trades, and leave the bastion.
What this means is each world is tailor-made for the player. Minecraft music, just like your world scene, Minecraft music is there's a reason nostalgia and soundtrack are truly